Hey, everybody, GameHounds podcast. How are you? We're still in our pre-show stuff. Welcome to the channel. If you have never seen us before, we do a live show, gaming show that has been going on for now. This year will be 14 years. But we're going to start with, we're in our pre-show before we actually start recording our podcast. So, and you get to watch it live. This is going to be a drunkcast. Hey, AC Wraith, we have our link bitch, the man with all the links to absolutely everything we mentioned. Nick and I are drinking, both of us. Got Nick D. Nicole over there. I've
Yay.
got my drink is inspired by Nick.
I just got some eggnog. Some
Well, no,
Pennsylvania
you started
Dutch
off with
eggnog.
coffee, and then I said, let's drink.
Oh, yeah. I've got coffee and eggnog.
Oh, you are lagging hard. Your video is lagging very, very hard.
Oh.
You're not plugged in, are you? Go plug in. Sorry, your internet is shitty, dude. Your Wi-Fi is all kinds. You have no idea how many. Well, I'll tell you guys. Well, Nick goes figure stuff out. I have thrown out so many routers. Hi, Shepard. I've thrown out so many routers in the last 48 hours. I have been unloading Kevin's room and the tech closet, and Kevin's method of tech was you buy something, a box, you hook it up, it works, and then you don't use it, or it breaks, or it gets changed, or you upgrade, or the technology changes and you need to get a new box. So you get another box and you put the old box next to the new box. You do not unplug, nor do you remove the power cable from the old box. You just find a new outlet, plug that box in, and then just switch over the cable. So I have shelves and shelves and shelves of boxes. I have no idea what they do, covered in a quarter inch of dust. And I am slowly but surely. There's a screenshot. Wow. There is a screenshot. Oh, that is beautiful. Where is that? Go back to it. Oop, add to the stream. There we are. That's Christmas right there. You're still your video is
Yeah, I can see it lagging.
yeah, your video is definitely still lagging really bad. Have you switched
Trying
over
to-
off of Wi-Fi onto not Wi-Fi?
It does it automatically.
You sure?
Yes.
Because now it looks way worse. You might want to restart.
No, I just
Yeah,
need to.
you are looking bad. So yeah, I have thrown out. I've gone down to the e-waste place twice now with like a good size, a box, a full size box full of tech, most of which I don't even know what it is. Now I'm getting down to the audio tech, and now I'm getting down to all the consoles. 'Cause remember, Kevin had consoles too. So we have all the old Xboxes and all the PlayStations all sitting there. The gray blur, as AC Wraith is calling you right now. And Bitter says, that's how a man do. Yes, that's how my man did. And it's all very well and fine until somebody's got to clean that shit up. But yeah, that's how I spent Christmas, because nobody's here. My brother's out of town. Everybody was like, come on down to our house. We're having, a small get together. It's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to plow through this pile of stuff. So at least I've made headway.
Okay.
It's a big process, but I've made some serious headway into it. So, what have you got for news?
news. Not a lot. I've been
I think that
looking.
this might just be a episode for, like,
I mean, it is like the last episode of the year. I feel like we should talk about what the
what are
best game you played this year was and the worst game.
oh, you that's a good question.
Hmm.
What was the best game that I played this year? Okay, I know the best game.
Okay.
What was the worst game? That's hard. Okay, I think I know the worst game.
Okay. I've closed most extra processes.
So, what did you get for Christmas? Oh, actually, you know what? Let's start the show because, yeah, that's a
Excuse
thing.
me.
I gotta get my show ready to go. How was all of your Christmas? Everybody in the chat room, was it everything you wished and dreamed it would be? Let me go to log out of my other show. All right. Oh, so many Christmas songs in my thing. I gotta get rid of all that. Stand by. Yeah. Cool. Going live. Yeah, this may very well be a very short show, depending on how drunk we get. Yes, it is a drunk cast. Nick and I are
eggnog
drinking.
doesn't do that much.
Oh, not the way I make it. Yeah, mine is eggnog flavored whiskey.
Okay.
What am I doing? There we go. Explicit, abso-freaking-lutely. All right, are you ready to go live? I am ready to go live anytime.
Yeah.
All right, going live.
If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 622. We are recording this show on Sunday, December 26, 2021. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. It's an audio show, Nick. You can't just wave.
Hi.
And it is Christmas 2021, more or less. Well, a little bit less actually, because it is the 26th. It's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
But we're doing our Christmas show because Christmas was on a Saturday. Didn't want to do a show early. Doing it the week before seemed kind of pointless and gratuitous. So we're doing our Christmas show today. So we have Nick in here. We've got the chat room open. If you are listening to the show as an audio cast, please let me express to you how much you are missing. You're missing out on 50% at least of this show. Because
you're missing out on cats.
You're missing out on cats?
Of course, you come to GameHounds to see cats.
But you're missing out on cats, you're missing out on dogs, you're missing out on all the visuals. And that can be found by, if you want to watch us live, you can watch it live as we do it on Facebook, on Twitch, and on that other thing, YouTube. Yeah. and we do the show live. And then after the fact, if you're listening after the fact, you can go over to YouTube or Twitch or Facebook and you can find us. So at all of the usual locations, you can actually watch this happen. We have just lost Nick. Nick has disappeared. That is not a good sign. Yeah. AC Ray says Edie uses the special juice. Yes, we are. This is a drunk cast. Both Nick and I are drinking. I have got, well, Nick has got a cup of coffee, a glass of eggnog. He didn't say what he put in it, but I know he put something in it. I have got a cup of coffee plus eggnog plus Bushmills Black Bush and a lot of that. So I'm wondering what's going on with Nick. But in the chat room, we've got Goalie. Hey, Goalie. Bitter says you miss out on their model good looks. Oh yes, we are that good looking, aren't we? No, Nick's definitely, of the two of us, he's closer to being a model, and that's saying something. But we got Goalie in the chat room. He says he's cold. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm in California, and I figured that one out when I went to Iceland. EC Bray says your family is celebrating tomorrow. Why is your family celebrating Christmas on December 27th? Right? 25th, 26th. Yeah, 27th. And Bitters says he got Party Hard 2 and Lords and Villains from the Steam sale. Good for you. I almost jumped onto the Steam sale to buy stuff, but then I realized that was probably be a bad idea. I just have this sinking feeling that I'm going to go more into being a PC gamer lately. I don't know why. It just feels like I'm heading in that direction. Consoles are great, don't get me wrong, but consoles are also very expensive. When you think about the cost of the console, when you think about the subscriptions in order to use the consoles, the cost is starting to become significant when you've got two consoles, you've got two different subscriptions, and then you realize way my life is right now, I'm having to spend so much more time. I have to spend a lot more time than I did. Like the things that Kevin used to do, like walk the dogs, I need to do. So there's no helping hands to free up some time so I can play games. Granted, I could probably find time to do that, but when I'm exhausted, I'm just finding myself collapsing and just watching Netflix until I fall asleep. Bitter says, "Hail victory." Yeah. Okay. Maybe I will become a PC gamer. I'm still not going to play Warframe on PC. Just
dedicated to that.
In principle, this is a principle thing. So where'd you go, Nick? Welcome back.
I was closing applications to try to improve performance, and
Oops.
clicked the Google tab and clicked end task on Chrome, and pew.
That will do it. So what did you do for Christmas, Nick?
I went over to my folks and hung out there on Christmas Eve. For Christmas Eve, we had pizza and watched Don't Look Up, the new Netflix movie, which is really good.
It is.
Did you
It's
see
the
it?
one? No, I'm asking. It is. Is it?
Oh, yes, it is
It
very
is,
good.
question mark?
Yes, it is, period.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one with what? It's about the two scientists are trying to warn about an impending disaster and everybody ignores them.
They see a comet that is on a direct hit trajectory to Earth, and just how them trying to warn people about that gets mired in insane absolutely stupid politics.
Is it funny?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's funny and like thoughtful. It's definitely absurd. It's like, oh yeah. At one point, uh the scientists, the people that are like warning about this comet are saying just look up. And the people that are against them, that are like, no, the comet doesn't exist, they say don't look up. And so don't look up becomes like this conspiracy theory QAnon-esque rallying cry. Don't look up. Don't look up.
All right.
But
Well,
yes,
the thing is that
it's
I
funny
don't do
and
movies. I like to have a break in between, and I know you can stop a movie anytime when you're watching it on Netflix,
Yeah.
but still, there is that thing like I want to have the episodes.
there's a lot that happens. Like, it's a long movie and it goes through kind of every winding step of the process. So you could easily stop after a scene. Stop after 30 minutes, and then I'm sure the next 30 minutes will kind of feel like a new episode.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it's really good.
So you ordered pizza for Christmas.
Yes, we had pizza for Christmas Eve dinner, and then our Christmas Day dinner was the more elaborate, like
Yeah.
ham and glazed ham and all that fancy stuff.
I made lamb soup.
Lamb is good.
Well, yeah, but I it's not that special. It was just a lamb soup. The thing is, I wanted something that I knew that I could eat for the rest of the week, and I knew if I made anything more elaborate, probably things would go bad with just me because I didn't have anybody over. Ian, my brother, is in Texas right now with his Goyle.
Oh,
Yeah. So he's there, and then it's like, well, it's just me. It's a Saturday night. It's a nothing special Saturday night. I probably would have ordered something, but there were very few things open, and I really didn't want Chinese because Chinese is always open on Christmas.
yeah.
But I didn't want to have the Jewish Christmas dinner of Chinese food. So yeah, I just made myself a big pot of soup, and I'll be eating that for the rest of the week. But I am going. Where are you going? You're going to do anything on New Year's?
No. Well, I'll probably just go over to my folks again and
Yeah.
hang out with them.
Yeah, I'm going down to the ranch, so I'm taking the dogs. Really, the
I
whole point is to
know
make the dogs happy for New Year's.
I was invited to a trip, like go out and spend a couple days out for like New Year's. But the one person that could theoretically look after Jupiter and all of his high maintenance medical bullshit, she is also going to be out of town at the time. So it's like, oh, okay, if you're gone, then I don't know who can take care of him. So
Yeah, pets do throw a bit of a monkey wrench into like holiday
especially
stuff.
when
But
they require diapers.
yeah, especially especially him. So I don't mean this to be disrespectful or unloving to Jupiter because I am entertained as hell at Jupiter. But when is that cat gonna fucking die? Wasn't he Fospus?
He was. He was only supposed to last a couple months at most.
And how long has it been?
About 3 years. Because let's see.
And he does not seem to be slowing down.
No. I think 2019 is when I first got him as like a tiny kitten and fostered him as like, oh, take care of this little kitten until it's able to be adopted. So that was end of 2019, which means he was probably born in November 2019. So 2019, 2020, 2020, no.
2 years.
2? He's not 2 years old. No, he's more than 2 years old. I don't know. Time loses all meaning. Time is nothing. It's relative. It's a flat circle. It's who knows. I think he's like 3 or 4. That's the point.
Yeah. So yeah.
I do.
He's a
I have
wonderful
an
cat. Don't get me wrong, but
I have an appointment in February with a cardiologist because
Mhm.
last year I took him to a cardiologist and they said, "Oh yeah, the reason he's doing better now is because when he was younger, he had a hole in his heart, and that's the core of his medical problem. That's why he can't be neutered, is because if they put him under anesthesia, his heart won't survive that process because there's a hole in it, so it's got to like pump extra. As he has grown bigger, the hole in his heart has not grown with the relative size of his heart. So as his heart has grown,
the hole is now smaller relative size to the heart.
yes, and that's why he's doing fine. So in February, I have another visit with the cardiologist, has a checkup to see, yo, how is this doing? Do you think he could survive anesthesia now? Are there any other alternatives? So that's when we'll kind of get an update of what is the future? Is it all diapers, or can I hope for a future without diapers?
Right, because he's diapered not because of incontinence, but because he sprays.
Yes, exactly.
Because he's an unneutered cat.
If the moment he's neutered, I can chuck all those diapers away.
Well, in theory, does he still try to spray? I don't know that will go away when he's neutered.
Don't dash my hopes, Edie.
It's behavioral now.
I see a light at the end of a tunnel, and it always gets further away, but I can see it. I have the hope that it's there. I see that it exists.
Yeah, but
don't blow a hole in my tunnel.
He's a full-grown boy at this point, and now I don't think that he will not spray.
I don't believe it. I'm not listening to this. No.
All right. Yes, it'll all go away, Nick. It will all go away. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. He's gonna instantly stop spraying.
Yeah. It's like flipping a switch.
Edie Dream Killer. Yep, that's me. I am the chosen one to kill your dreams, to murder them on the spot.
Wow, that's dark.
So, what games are you playing?
I've just played Deathloop. I thought I had played more, but actually I didn't.
Mhm.
I wish I had played more of it. I wanted to play some this morning, but I just never got around to it. So I want to play some more after the podcast, but it's a cool game. It's definitely slow in the beginning. So what Deathloop is, you wake up on a beach and you are Colt? You're either Cole or Colt. I forget exactly your name, but you wake up on this beach. You don't really have any idea of how you got there, what you're doing there. And as you explore, you realize, I'm kind of stuck on this hedonistic island. And at the end of the day, one day, time resets and you go back to this beach. So, it's kind of a roguelike in that way. You wake up on a beach, you can explore an area, and then at the end of the day, everything resets. So, in order to break the loop, in order to get out of this constant time cycle, you have to kill 8 leaders on this hedonistic island. 8 people called visionaries. And they are some of the people that are kind of in control of this loop because there's some sort of weird anomaly on this island. And these visionaries came here, realized there was an anomaly, kind of set up a town and established this time loop. But because each of them kind of holds a little piece of the power, if you kill 8 of them, all 8 of them, the loop breaks. The way the game is structured, it sounds like a typical roguelike, but it's structured in a kind of menu-based way. So the day is split into 4 times. You've got morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. There are I'm pretty sure 3 different areas that you can explore. No, there are 4 areas that you can explore. So as the day progresses and the time changes, the whole island changes. In the evening, it's like a snowstorm rolls in and completely covers everything in snow, freezes the ocean around it a lot so that you can walk on it. So you choose these from a menu. Excuse me. So when the day begins, you kind of enter into this menu and it's morning. And you can then choose, I want to go explore zone 1 in the morning. And then you go there, and as you're exploring around, time doesn't change. And that's key. So if I go to zone 1 in the morning, I can spend as much time as I like exploring that area, killing people, sneaking into buildings, finding notes, finding information, finding shortcuts, finding anything. And then when I leave, I go back to the menu and it sort of notches over into noon. And then I get to choose, well, which of these places do I want to explore at noon? And if I want to, I can go back to zone 1, and things will have changed a little bit because the time is now advanced. Maybe new people show up, and so a door that was closed is now open because the guy has come home. Or in the evening, when the snowstorm comes in, maybe some of the ocean will have frozen over so I can get to previously inaccessible areas. So, because this is from the developers of Dishonored and Prey, and so because time doesn't advance when you jump into these zones, that that allows you the freedom to just explore. Just take your time walking around. You see someone and you've come across a group of people and you're trying to be stealthy. And so you can take your time to just watch them go about their routine and realize, okay, every minute or so, one guy is going to go off on his own, and then I can sneak up behind him and kill him. So you have that freedom to just take your time because you know that time is not advancing. So even though like the loop will reset at the end of the day, I don't have to go rushing through a zone and I don't have to explore with this black cloud of a timer over my head.
That's kind of nice.
And yeah, it is really nice. It's a system. Like when you first hear the premise of the game, it feels really weird. But once you realize they have this system in place that kind of allows you to pick and choose when and where you want to explore, it makes a lot more sense. So the reason I think it's really slow is because you have to go through a loop at least, which means you have to go through 4 time zones. So you have to play a morning, you have to play then in the morning, you pick a location, explore it, come back. For noon, pick a location, explore it, come back. Afternoon, pick a location, explore, come back. Evening, pick a location, explore, and come back. Then things reset. Because you have to do a lot of that, then and only then, once you kind of get through a lot of that loop, does the game sort of open up a lot more mechanics. So there's a lot of game that you play. And sorry, I'm watching this video, and I've not seen this place, but all I can think about is the laser room from the Resident Evil movie, which, if anyone has seen it, that is like the best scene in the movie. So I'm looking forward to getting wherever this laser grid is. But so it takes a while to get going because until you finish like all the narrative requirements that the game gives you story-wise in this day, every time you die, you lose everything. And so because hey, it's a roguelike. What's nice though is when you wake up on that beach, there's a gun with ammo, and you get a power called a slab. Because all of these visionaries, because they've got supernatural time loopy magic in them, they have different powers that are contained in something called a slab. It can turn some invisible, it can make some stronger, it can like control gas and stuff. you start with a slab that basically gives you 2 extra lives. So, as I'm exploring, if I die, time doesn't rewind. I rewind like 30 seconds and I respawn wherever I was standing 30 seconds ago. Time has not changed. Like whatever happened when I died, all that stuff still matters. But I myself, my body has sort of respawned 30 seconds ago. So then I can go forward and realize, okay, I know that room is dangerous. I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I go in there. I know there was a turret that shot me that first time. So I'm going to take a little bit of care and try not to get killed by that turret this time.
And so it sounds like that the spawn spots when you die are not that far ahead, so that you're,
No,
like,
no.
oh god damn it, I lost all that progress.
No, with the reprise slab that you have, when you die, it respawns you super close to your body. So
that's
that's nice. But if you die again, then if you die 3 times, which is the number of lives you have, then that is when the loop resets. And so no matter what you're doing, you then go back to wake up on that beach. But after you get through a lot of these story quests, finally you get something that I think really starts to make the game interesting, which is you get the power to harness something called residuum from objects in the world. If you kill a visionary, they give you a lot of residuum. And what you do with that residuum is you can infuse it with objects, and then they will stay with you loop after loop after loop.
Okay.
So if you find a good gun, you can infuse that with some residuum, and then I know, when I start back on that beach, I'm going to have this shotgun.
Nice.
And so early on, it feels a little slow because, I'm playing through these story quests. I'm sort of learning the systems, learning the mechanics. And at the same time, every time I die, I'm kind of resetting to 0. And so it's a little bit of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back process until you get far enough in the story that you get to harness residuum. And then you start getting that, okay, I'm not taking 2 steps forward, but every time I die, because now I've got a good gun. I killed a visionary. I got his invisibility slab. I'm going to infuse that, and now I'm going to have that power going forward. Then you really start to get the sense of taking little baby steps forward every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. And so what do you do then? Once you're comfortable with the mechanics, what you really want to do is just explore each area and learn it. And what I really like about this game is it does a cool thing that The Witness did, that the Outer Wilds did, where it locks things not behind a door with a physical key, but behind knowledge. So really what you want to do is explore, learn about these visionaries, learn their habits, learn where they go throughout the island, so that you can then manipulate events into your favor. Because you won't be able to kill all 8 of them in a single day from the beginning. You have to learn how to manipulate the situation. For example, this is one thing I discovered recently. There's a scientist named Egon, and he spends his day kind of Igor. He spends his days holed up in a lab.
Igor.
No, it's actually E. It's Egor.
I'm sticking with Igor.
It's got to be Eagle. Why would you say Igor and spell it with an E? That's just
How do you? Wait a minute. How's it spelled? E-Y.
Egor.
Okay.
They say his name in the game, but I didn't pay that close enough attention, so I don't know how they pronounce it. But okay, Igor is a scientist. He's holed up in his lab all day, but you check these emails and in the morning, and he's talking to a guy named Alexius, another visionary, who's throwing a party in the evening. And Igor's like, hey, so what's my invitation? I'm going to come, right? You're going to invite me. Invite me, asshole. And eventually, Alexis does. But in the afternoon, Igor discovers something. Something trips one of his scientific relay stations on the island. And he says, I'm not coming to the party tonight. So that means if I want to go kill Igor, I know in the evening he's going to be at his, science location. Okay. But I can't kill everyone at once. I need to group them together during certain times in order to be able to kill all 8 of them in a single day. So then once I learn he's not attending the party because his relay discovered this thing, the game gives you the objective, go sabotage that relay station. So in the morning or around noon, anytime before that relay station discovers its special thing, I have to go and sabotage it, because that means Igor won't make the discovery, which means he'll attend the party, which means in the evening I can go and kill Igor and Alexis at the same time.
Right.
And so that's kind of what the process of the game becomes. Once you get Residuum, it's like following leads to, oh, I heard a rumor about a really good gun that these people are moving in the afternoon in Zone B. Well, I'm going to follow that lead, and I'm going to find that gun and infuse it with Residuum, so now I've got this cool gun going forward. Oh, I found out that this one visionary is only available in the morning when she gives this sermon. So I'm going to go hunt her down. And so it's this process of just exploring, gaining information, messing with things.
Setting up events so that you can get to that point where you can kill all 8 in one day.
Yes. Or even just like learning how to kill someone. The part that I kind of got stuck at is I was trying to kill a visionary named Frank. And Frank's kind of this DJ radio guy who broadcasts from a club. The club is full of security systems. And specifically, it's this one system called a club pass, which disables your slab powers, which means if you get that club pass on your wrist, you can't revive. You can't revive, and you also can't use any of the other powers you might have acquired throughout the game, which kind of sucks. It makes things really hard. But as I'm going through his club, he knows I'm there, and he's mocking me over the PA system, and he says something like, yeah, you can't use your slabs. Charlie made this club pass system for me to protect me.
So now you go get Charlie.
Exactly. So now when I go back, what I want to do is I'm going to go hunt down Charlie and just explore his area to see if I can find some clue about how to disable the club pass system.
Right.
And so that's the course of the game. And slow going, but I feel like I'm in the middle portion where it balances exploration and combat really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was really hesitant to get into combat. I was playing it more as a stealth game. But as I've played it more and more, and I've gotten comfortable with the controls and the pacing, and I've infused weapons that I like, I can now play it as more of an action game where I know, oh, I'm going to jump down, kill these guys over here because I can take them out really well. So yeah, it's a really cool game. I'm curious to see how these clues are able to wrap up in the end. But so far, the process of just learning and figuring things out is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. Would you recommend? What are you playing this on, by the way? Is it
PlayStation?
Oh, okay. Is it PlayStation exclusive?
I think it is.
Oh,
I think it's exclusive for like a year.
Because
I think Sony bought exclusivity before Microsoft bought Bethesda.
Oh, that's right. This is one of those games that was like, we're going to honor our previous contracts. So a Microsoft company for a year is going to have a PlayStation 5 exclusive game.
Yep.
Oddly enough. All right. So my game that I played this week, that's all you played, right?
Yeah.
So my game that I played this week, I actually did play a game. I went on and downloaded Halo Infinite. And because it has been literally probably a decade. Yeah, probably decade since I've played a Halo game. Decided to do the campaign before I jumped into the multiplayer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, I barely remember any of the the gameplay stuff, um, uh, like all the controls and everything. But gosh darn it, it's a freaking Halo game. There's no question. It just as soon as you get into it, it feels like Halo. It acts like Halo. The story so far, I'm very early on into the story, but it seems to be. Oh, God, I can't think of any game that. I mean, there's tons of games that are like this, but I can't really think about like pick a title where you are trying to capture bases along the way, like
It's like
Ghost of
Warcraft.
Tsushima. Yeah, same thing where you're like the story progresses as you have to get from point A to point B, but you've got to capture bases all the way along
Okay.
to get
Yeah.
to point D, and then the story progresses, and then you got to capture more bases because you're going over somewhere else. It's a freaking Halo game, and it's gorgeous, and it's so fun to play. It just feels right. One of the things that I did in lieu of playing games is I binge watched, and if you have not binge watch it, go freaking binge watch it. Power Up, the 6-part documentary on the Xbox.
About
Are
Halo?
you No, about Xbox, the creation of the Xbox.
Oh, on where is it?
It is on. Well, I watched it on YouTube, but it's on just about everything.
Oh,
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, Power Up is, I think that's the name of it, Power Up or Power On. Let me look. Power Up, story of Xbox. Or is it Power On? It's Power On, the story of Xbox. And it is unfreaking believable how improbable it was that the Xbox was ever built and what they had to overcome. And it goes all the way, and it's narrated by Laura Bailey. It goes all the way from like it being a concept, like a bunch of like 4 guys saying, you know what we need is we need a box that plays games. Do you know why it's called Xbox?
isn't it because it used like DirectX?
DirectX. That was the code name. Was
Oh, Xbox
DirectX
was?
was Xbox.
Oh, because
And
it's
then
the
they
DirectX
tried, and then
box.
they went through and tried to figure out what the real name was going to be, and they came up with these awful names. And then they realized that the best name for the game was, or the best name for it was the code name. And there's a lot of freaking revelations. I don't know why I have this on Halo Infinite campaign. There is a lot of revelations on this. Power On, story of Xbox. Um, there's a lot of revelations in this, and it is absolutely fascinating. And it goes through not only the creation of the Xbox, but the release of the Xbox, and then the release of the Xbox 360 and the Red Ring of Death. They finally reveal why the Red Ring of Death happened.
Didn't we know? It was like a manufacturing shortcut that they took, right?
No. It's never been revealed what exactly was the reason, because nobody knew what the reason was. The reason the Red Ring of Death happened. Sorry, I turned on the heater and I've got this big old sweater on, and all of a sudden I'm overheating, and then I, add whiskey on top of it, and now I'm way too warm.
Yeah.
So the reason why there is a Red Ring of Death was the thermal paste between between the
Processor?
the thermal solder between the processor and everything else. The technology wasn't that great, and they had used a thermal solder that it had been, if you heated it up and cooled it off and heated it up and cooled it off and heated it up and cooled it off, it would get brittle and it would crack.
Hmm.
So with people turning on their Xboxes, turning off their 360s, turning off their 360s repeatedly, playing for hours and hours, letting it get good and hot, and then turning it off, then that caused the red ring of death. So the use of your PlayStation or your 360 was the reason why that happened. But anyway, absolutely, the shows are about what, 45 minutes each for each episode. There's 6 episodes. And one of the things they actually talk about is Halo Infinite, or the first Halo, and how Halo, were it not for, there's a lot of things that were it not for, that if they hadn't happened, there would be no Xbox. Truly understanding the importance of what Halo was for this box, for the Xbox, like a first-person shooter that wasn't on a computer. They said that couldn't be done, and now it's like it's a thing, and they're the ones that set up the whole concept of dual stick gameplay that is now ubiquitous.
Yeah, I remember that was the first console shooter that people were impressed by, that they said, "Oh wow, this actually feels good."
Right.
And I also remember way back when it first came out, because I've always been a console gamer more than a PC gamer. So I didn't play a lot of first person shooters, and so has like an old PS2 fanboy, I always thought, oh, the RPGs were like the big system sellers, right? Final Fantasy sold systems. And so Xbox comes out with this fucking first person shooter, has like this system seller, and people are saying like, "Oh, this is the game to own the console for." And I was thinking, a first person shooter, really? You can't sell a console on the back of a first person shooter. Come on.
Right. And
really?
And the first person shooter fans the whole time were saying, you can't play a first person shooter on a game console. You just can't. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
then,
how behind the Halo guys were. Like that, almost that. It just, anyway. So that's kind of what really inspired me. It's like I watched that 6-part series and I'm like, I'm going to go play Halo Infinite. So
cool.
The campaign, it's Halo. It feels like Halo. It looks like Halo. It continues on the story beautifully without Cortana, or at least with the reverberations of Cortana, given that she's gone to the dark side, so to speak.
That's right. What was the last Halo game you played?
Fuck, did I play Halo Reach? I don't even know if I played Halo Reach.
Because I know they went through a whole story about Cortana going mad, and I imagine jumping into this is like jumping into the third part of a trilogy without knowing what happened.
It's like watching A New Hope and then jumping into like episode 1.
Yeah.
It's like, really? What happened? By the way, I want to make a point out. Andy Pandy is in the chat room. Longtime listener, first time viewer. Welcome, sir. Welcome. We missed you.
Andy.
Yes, this is us. This is how we've always looked. I've looked like this since I was in my 20s. That is my story. I'm sticking to it. So I recommend to, if you're on the fence about playing Halo, even if you are not a Halo fan, if you're on the fence about playing Halo Infinite, if you want to truly have an appreciation of what Halo meant and means to the Microsoft community, what it means to Bill freaking Gates, go watch Power On, the story of Xbox. All 6 chapters are available now on YouTube, and it is. I watched one episode because I knew it was out there, and I was like, I gotta watch it. And I watched one episode and proceeded to binge watch until 4:00 in the morning. The whole thing, and I would absolutely watch it again.
Okay, I'm looking at AC Wraith in the chat, and he said, and I think he's talking about the Star Wars movies.
He's talking about Star Wars. He's not talking about this.
Yeah, no, but you skip episode 1 and you go 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. What the hell kind of A New
Oh.
Hope,
A New Hope,
Empire Strikes
Strikes
Back.
Back.
Then you go Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, then Return of the Jedi. Like, that's such a weird combination. Why wouldn't you finish the original trilogy and then do the prequel trilogy?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
I don't understand. So he says 5 reveals Darth Vader is Luke's father. Then you go back to see his stuff and come back. Oh, I can see the logic.
Okay, so
I can see the logic.
it's like 2 and 3 are a flashback before the climax.
Right. Why would you skip 1 though?
Because it's not very good.
Well, it's not
honestly-
very good, but that's the origin of Dad. That's the origin of Darth Vader.
But also, honestly, you don't really need to. I don't think there's anything in that movie that is required watching. You learn all you need to from 2. Huh. Patton Oswalt recommended. That's okay. I first saw it and I thought that's such a weird order. But when you explained about like the revelation of Darth Vader and then flashing back to see it from him, that makes sense.
Well, EC Ray says 1 doesn't have much good info. I would disagree. I think that it doesn't have any good info except for the concept of twins unknown to Darth Vader and
That's
them
not
being separated.
That's not in the first one though.
Yes, it is. Queen
Twins?
Amidala is pregnant.
Not
in
in,
the-
not in episode 1.
Isn't that in episode 1?
No, episode 1, Anakin's a little baby. He ain't impregnating anyone.
Where? How old is Anakin? Oh, that's episode 2.
He's
You're right.
Yeah, he's a little kid. Yeah,
You're
see?
right. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. Skip episode 1. That kid's annoying. Kevin hated that kid. Hated young Anakin Skywalker. By the end of the episode, everybody at Skywalker fucking hated that kid so much. So
Aw,
much.
it's
Because
not
they had
his
to edit
fault.
him. No, it is not that actor's fault, but they hated that character almost as much. We would play a would you rather when we were on long trips, and I finally got to the would you rather of Jar Jar Binks and young Anakin Skywalker, and it was a would you rather on not fuck but to kill. And he absolutely Anakin Skywalker over Jar Jar Binks. Hated him like worse
Wow.
than Jar Jar. And Jar Jar Binks was universally despised to the point that there were some things that were in episode, what was that? 1, 2, 1. Jar Jar introduced. The first time we see Jar Jar was at 1.
Yes.
There were some things that were written into the script for episode 1 that were so bad that there was a mini revolt at Skywalker where people were sending personal letters pleading, workers sending personal letters pleading with George Lucas not to do it. I heard that some people actually went up to him, and the guy, he didn't like to be approached by anybody, even his own employees, that they would go up to him and they were crying. They were crying, please, 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 please take this out. And nobody knew if some of those things were taken out until they actually saw it like as a done movie for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it with Kevin, and then there was this moment, like I'm just watching along, la 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 la, and then all of a sudden everybody breaks into cheers. And I looked at Kevin and he's like, I'll explain later. And he explained to me there was one episode where Jar Jar farts. And everybody but wanted it out. It was just so bad and just so stupid. And nobody knew if the fart was going to stay. And when the fart was not there, everybody jumped up screaming and cheering. What is this? That moment I opened up about suicide. Jar Jar Binks actor. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize. Oh, did not realize that.
Yeah, he's after episode 1 came out and like the hate against Jar Jar became like this massive
Universal. Right.
movement.
Right. Yeah. Like this one thing that will cause
Yeah.
peace on earth is that everybody agrees that Jar Jar sucks.
Yeah, the actor did contemplate suicide, and thankfully he didn't, and he has since come back, and he's doing. I know he's doing some other Star Wars stuff now, but like he's doing better than he's ever been, which is
I can
a,
see that.
a nice
You have your
comeback story.
huge break playing like this character and everybody hates you and you don't dare say like, what was your last job? I was Jar Jar Binks.
I mean, I'm glad things have worked out for him because
I
I
am
don't
too.
think the kid has acted in anything since then.
No. It's not that he's a bad actor. He wasn't a bad actor. It's just that that whole movie was so obnoxiously written.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Halo Infinite. I don't know how we got onto that. Halo Infinite. Halo
Circling
Infinite
back around.
is circling back around. Halo Infinite looks like the campaign because we've talked about the multiplayer before. It looks like a Halo game. It feels like a Halo game. It has everything good about it that you will like. I haven't gotten far enough into it to find out how robust the story is, but the story doesn't seem terrible right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing through it, and I'll probably play some multiplayer, although I'll get my ass handed to me because I don't remember so much about it.
It's also tough because it's a game where the weapons are on the map. So if you want a better weapon than the starting rifle, you've got to find it. But I
Same
know,
thing in campaigns the same way. You start with a pistol and one
yeah,
bullet in the campaign.
but I know one of the controversies about the meta of Halo Infinite is that a lot of people are complaining the starting rifle is too powerful. And I get on
The
one
Spartan
hand,
rifle?
yeah, the assault
Yeah,
rifle.
yeah, it is. I mean, it is my favorite weapon.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
And I see it from two paths. On one hand, yes, if you have a game design that you've got everyone starts with this one weapon, then in theory, if you find a different weapon on the map, that one should be better because it's rarer, right? And so in theory, any weapon you find should be
Yeah,
better
that's
than the
not the
default.
case. That's not the case.
But that's not the case.
No.
And I kind of deeply appreciate that that's not the case because I'm someone who's going to spend 90% of the time with that assault rifle because I don't know where all the other stuff on the map
The problem
is.
is that you spend 90% of the time with that assault rifle, which is very refreshing. The problem is you can't find the ammo for that rifle. So you're carrying around that rifle hoping that you're going to find something somewhere that you can pick up some kinetic ammo.
And that's when I just die and respawn. I don't live long enough to run into ammo issues.
Yeah, but the ammo issues follow you after you die and respawn. There's just not enough ammo. You have to switch weapons. There's no question. You've got to have a secondary weapon that is something that is plasma based and not kinetic. Like there's been a couple of things I've picked up and like, oh my god, this rifle's awesome, but you can't find any ammo for it. But you carry it around anyway. Just like maybe I might find like two bullets somewhere, and then
I
I'll
will say-
use those 2 bullets.
One thing you might want to check out. When I first started up Infinite, I went into the training area, and there's a really cool thing that they set up where there's like a practice range where you can practice. You can literally play with every gun in the game.
Oh, really?
Practice with it. Like you shoot stationary targets, you shoot moving targets, and then you shoot targets that shoot back. And it's just nice to be able to get my hands on every single gun and just play around with it. Because one of the problems you run into with this type of game is, oh, I finally picked up the Ravager. I don't know how to use the Ravager.
Right.
So this training area is really handy because it gets around that issue.
Yep. but yeah, if you are a Halo fan, the campaign, it feels good, fine. If you are not a Halo fan, then it is important for you, to go and watch that Power On documentary, so that you can appreciate the importance of Halo. It is more than just a game, to say the least. When it comes to gaming, it is important with a capital I. And I didn't realize how important it is in many ways. The Lord of the Rings, what Lord of the Rings is to fantasy, Halo is to first person shooters on console. They're the ones that laid down all the rules that everyone else to this day still follows.
I could see that.
Just simply the mapping, just button mapping, the way that they button mapped, still being used.
Yeah, because I know Call of Duty 4 did something a little different, but it also did a lot of things the same.
Did it do dual stick the same way, where left stick, right stick move the same way? Yeah, that's Halo. They're the ones that came up with that.
Yeah, but then Call of Duty did the look down sights, which is what also revolutionized console shooters. Like, every game has a look down the sights now, but it's weird to think that before Call of Duty 4, I think it was,
you couldn't look down sights.
You could, yeah, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what I played.
Okay, cool.
So, anybody else? Any recommendations in the chat room of games that you have played this week, or the weekend of Christmas, and have any opinions on? Give me your quick 50 character review of them. Since Nick and I didn't have a lot of games that we played. Why were you all? I know why I only played one game, because I have not been playing a lot of games since I got, my time kind of spoken for these days. But why didn't only you have one?
I just had other things to do. I've been watching a lot of Witcher on Netflix, which second season,
is Witcher?
Very good. I spent 2 days with my family practically, so that ate into a lot of gaming time.
Yeah, that'll do it. AC Wraith says the new War quest line in Warframe is good. No joke. Do I ever think that you're joking about Warframe? You never joke about Warframe.
Several months ago, I did download Warframe onto the PS5, and I have not deleted it. It is still there. It's just a button press away.
You want to play that tonight?
I'd rather play Deathloop.
I know, but let's do that. I would rather play Halo. Do we want to do this? I mean, it's a Christmas thing.
True. Yeah, okay. I'll play Warframe.
Who has Warframe on which console?
PlayStation.
Okay. Who has Warframe on PlayStation that wants to play with us?
Is there crossplay? I
don't think there is crossplay. No.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I want to say that maybe there is crossplay, but it's been a while since I even just entered into it. But does anybody want to Sherpa us tonight on PlayStation playing Warframe? Because we need a Sherpa to explain to us why this game is so good, because we don't believe it.
No, I have played it for a little bit. I've enjoyed everything that I played of it. It's just that, I fall off of games.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see if I can improve my brightness without doing that. That's about
there
as far
is
as I'm gonna go.
crossplay coming, but it's not out yet.
Okay. Yeah, AC Ray says no crossplay, and the people who want you are on PC. There's no way I will ever be able to play Warframe PC. I can't. I cannot do that. I have a Mac. It's just not going to be able to do it. Blood Reaper says he's playing Elder Scrolls Online, another game we haven't gone to in a while. Your scantily clad. What was it? What did you have?
Yeah, I had like a Christmas thing set up, and
yeah, so your ensemble is in season.
It is. I think I had like a Christmas dress that had a nice boob window
Right,
on
a
my
male.
burly elf guy.
Was it an elf? Was it a burly elf?
I may not have been elf, just like a burly
Can you
human
play
man.
orcs? I can't remember if you could play an orc.
I don't remember.
You did not look good.
But
I
it was
mean,
just
you
funny
looked-
because there's the boob window and it's just a bunch of chest hair. And it's like a really gaudy green and red like elf setup.
Yeah. It was, but you're in season, so Elder Scrolls is definitely
That
a
is.
possibility.
Maybe I should download that and check it out.
Bitter says he's playing a mobile game called Nonstop Game.
Hmm.
And he says, I also approve of boob windows. They're, I don't know. Have you seen Nick's boob window? It's unfortunate. It's hard to look at. You feel embarrassed for Nick.
Do you want
also for
see
yourself.
my cleavage down there? Yeah.
Thank you. Pass.
Okay.
This is a family friendly show or not.
No, it's not. It says it at the top.
It's never been.
We
family friendly.
specifically state.
We specifically state you should not have children anywhere near us. There's a reason why none of us have kids. Why? Because we shouldn't be allowed around kids. So tell me about this game, Nonstop Game.
Interesting. I'm looking it up. It's an idle RPG. And actually I always look for a good idle RPG. I haven't played one in a while.
Why am I finding I'm finding everything except it's called Nonstop Game.
Yeah, Nonstop Game : idle RPG.
IDOL RPG. Oh, IDLE.
Yeah.
RPG. Yeah, you have to add that because if you look up Nonstop Game, you just get nothing but like Far Cry and everything else playing nonstop. All right, so this is Nonstop Game. It looks interesting. Okay, it looks like turn-based.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably one of those turn-based idle
And
games.
very slow when it's loading.
You set up your people and then just send them off to fight.
Uh-oh, am I losing internet? All right, no, everything seems to be working now.
Can you hear me?
I can. It's like I've got this scrolling unable to load on YouTube, which does not bode well. Let's see. All right. Oh, this looks rather interesting. All right. So are you liking this? He says it's a hero collector. Bitter says this show is for old people. Fuck you. You know, yes, it is. You know why?
He's not wrong.
Because we're old. That's what
Yeah.
we do. He says, yeah. Bitter says, yeah, I like it. It looks pretty cool. So, all right. I mean, we fiddled around trying to artificially lengthen the show. Shall we hit the news, sir?
Sure. If you want to artificially lengthen things, you could say, what have you been watching? What have you been reading? No. You want to know one of the reasons why I didn't play a lot of games? I've been reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. He's the guy that wrote The Martian. This is his newest book. It's really fucking good.
What's it about?
I don't want to spoil too much about it because the way it's structured, the main guy wakes up in kind of this like weird cryopod situation, and he doesn't remember how he got there. So the way each chapter is structured is you've got him exploring the area around him, trying to figure out where he is, how he got there, what's going on. With flashbacks, as his memory slowly returns, that explains what is going on. How did he get here? What's the problem? And just suffice it to say, each chapter ends in one of those great ways, those twists where you're like, oh, holy shit.
Right.
How?
The cliffhanger
Yeah.
chapters.
It's like, wait a minute. This just blew everything wide open. Oh, wait a minute. This just blew everything even wider open. How are you going to solve this? Oh, I didn't see this coming. This is fascinating. It's way more speculative sci-fi than The Martian was. The Martian was very grounded. Just how do you survive on another planet?
Right.
And it's kind of very
an expansion of fact,
Yeah.
expansion of science.
This gets way more big idea, speculative sci-fi, but it's presented and described in the same way that The Martian was, which is very down-to-earth language that explains how you can make an interstellar spaceship. And it's like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Right.
So,
Bitter says, I've been reading the current run of Avengers and Amazing Spider-Man, loving it.
Oh, really? I read one run of Avengers way back when this writer I liked. Oh, I can't remember his name. It was a lead into the Secret Wars event, and that was all really good. And that was sort of my big Marvel time when I followed all the comics really closely.
Bitter says Peter's in the hospital with radiation poisoning and his clone Ben is taking his place.
Comic books don't ever change.
So Blood Reaper just said something in the chat room.
Okay.
He said McDonald's. I don't know the context of this, but it really made me crave McDonald's. Do you want me to Uber Eats you some McDonald's and we can eat McDonald's on the show?
I don't need an Uber Eats. I have a McDonald's
oh, that's right.
Across the street
right, but you can't leave to go get it. How Silicon Valley is that you're calling Uber to go across the street for you to get McDonald's?
I can't in good conscience do that.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking because I just realized, oh yeah, hey, I haven't had lunch and it's gonna be kind of dinner time. Do you want me to order? Should we order something? Order a pizza?
I mean,
I'll order you a pizza.
I can go get McDonald's. I also have a lot of leftovers.
Yeah, that's true. You got leftovers.
But
you got to leave to go get it. Whereas if we have it delivered, we can eat the same thing.
I'll leave for 10 minutes.
Right, but 10 minutes, that's me carrying the show for 10 minutes. And then you get McDonald's and I do not.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. This is the liquor talking that I want food.
We'll eat it while we play Warframe.
That's true. I can have McDonald's delivered. You know what? I'm fucking just talk about something. I'm gonna go order McDonald's and have it delivered now.
Okay, shit.
I'm drunk and hungry now.
Oh, okay. One of the things I talked about, I got back into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I finally started watching part 4, I think it is, which is season 3 on Netflix. Diamond is Unbreakable. And the reason I did it is because for Christmas, I got a bunch more little metal models that I like to do. There's another one up. Shit, it's all backward. There, a nice, cool tower that I'm looking forward to making. But one of the things my parents gave me is this wooden model of a working mechanical clock. And so actually last night when I got home from Christmas dinner,
is this the game that you're playing, or is it
No, this is a present that my parents gave me.
Oh, okay.
It's a physical wooden clock that works. And so I've been putting together gears for this clock. And so last night, after I got back from Christmas dinner, I started putting together these wooden gears and watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And yeah, that show is still good. It's what I like about it is every season, the arc is mainly just, hey, what weird new superpower can I introduce people to? Because the season starts off with this premise that, oh, there's a serial killer on the loose, a supernatural serial killer. We need to find him. That gets resolved in the first 3 episodes. And then it's oh, Well, there's this guy going around with a magic bow and arrow giving people superpowers. Okay, so that must be the premise for this season. No, that gets resolved in the next 2 episodes. And then that show just constantly throws spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks, where there is no real premise for the season. This season is really just, yeah, it's a kid hanging out at school, encountering other people with supernatural powers. Some of them might be a girl that has a crush on him. Other people might be the chef at a nearby restaurant and his weird superpowers. And it's just a show. The superpowers that it presents are so insanely niche and specific, where you need to get people in a very specific situation for this superpower to be effective or dangerous. And the show constantly finds a way to exploit those really specific circumstances. On AC Wraith says, there's overarching stuff you're missing because it hasn't paid off yet. Okay, I'm like 10 episodes into the 4th part, which I think is like 30 episodes long, 30 or 40.
$6 delivery, $6 delivery charge.
That's why I never order things. You can't order something from McDonald's and have it like delivered by Uber Eats, because the delivery is literally as much as the food.
Well, I'm looking at DoorDash. How much is Uber Eats?
But I will say about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that several months ago, when I first started watching it, I was watching it because it was going to leave Netflix like in a month.
Well, I'm going to have to take this call. Go ahead and keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay. It was going to leave Netflix in a month. And so I kind of rushed through watching what was available. And then it did leave for a month. But then it came back with even more seasons. So I don't know what kind of weird contract shenanigans were going on there, but I'm glad that it's back with a lot of stuff to watch. But I'll also say one of the things that I did as opposed to playing games is I binged all of the Matrix movies in preparations for the upcoming one. And Edie's ringtone reminded me of this because it's a Cowboy Bebop song, and the live action Cowboy Bebop just came out. That was okay at best. And I think the Matrix movies are probably the best live action anime thing that has ever been made. Even though it's not really based on an anime property, there is so much of it that is just anime-esque. Watching the third movie and seeing those mechs with the dual pistols, like Chow Yun Fat in an action movie, it just screams anime in a way that no other action show really does. And even the way that the characters just always resort to fighting. It's like, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, I must test you out, so we're going to get into a kung fu fight. It's so inherently anime and Hong Kong action that I'm glad they exist. AC Ray says he'll be seeing the new Matrix in a Discord Wednesday. How are you seeing it in a Discord? Oh, is that because it's released on HBO Go? Is it one of those streaming and theater same day deals? Because I went and saw the new Matrix in the theater. But yeah, if it's on HBO Go the same day, that would make it very easy to watch over Discord.
So I have some really bad news. We are having a tenant issue. So I need to, and my brother is in Texas. So I need to go relight a pilot light for someone.
Okay.
So it's going to probably take me about 20 minutes, but I'm thinking we might have to just end the show and either come back later or just go on to, just like stream a game later.
Yeah, we can come back to stream Warframe later.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. Let's go stream. God damn it. I was so looking forward to fucking McDonald's. Yeah, no, I gotta go.
You can still have McDonald's, But I mean, also, there's not a whole lot of news. It's been a very slow news week because it's Christmas week. Everyone's on break.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody that says that landlords, live the life and we live in luxury in our mansions and life is easy for us. This is an example of what it is to be a landlord. It is December 26th. I am a very strong drink in, and I now have to stop what I'm doing to go relight a pilot light for someone because she can't figure out how to relight a pilot light.
How far do you need to go?
Fortunately, it's the house that's just down the road. If it was the house in Martinez, it would be a whole different ball of wax. It would be a 40-minute drive each way so that I could relight a pilot light for somebody because they don't have any hot water.
On your own. Google it. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Well,
That's
what you gotta do.
You get to play with fire while drunk.
Yeah. I will try to keep the flame away from me. And it is a little bit embarrassing. I'm going to have to mouthwash myself because it is a little bit embarrassing that I'm like, hey, I'm here to fix your pilot light with the fumes of whiskey coming off of me.
Just light it in front of you and then blow on it and you're...
Yeah. All right. Yes, I will be safe. It's lighting a pilot light. I don't have to worry about it too much.
To be fair, I don't know how to do that. I've never had to do that before.
Okay. Everybody should know how to relight a pilot light. It's not hard. You press a button and you light a flame.
Okay. You see, I would just Google it.
Hopefully it's not your thermocouple that has gone out. And if it's your thermocouple that's gone out, then we got bigger problems. So thermocouple is this thing that when it gets warm, it stays open. And when it gets cold, it closes. So your pilot light has this little, it's this constant little stream of gas that keeps the light going so that when you turn on the heater, it lights up. And when you turn off the heater, it lights out. If you've got a gas stove, you frequently have a little light somewhere underneath there, unless you have an electrical spark to light your gas stove when you turn on the gas. Well, in a water heater, there's this thing that's a thermocouple, and you've got to put a light on it, and it's just a little flame that's constantly going, which is why it's so dangerous to have anything that's got gas fumes in your house, because you've got literally an open flame just sitting inside of your water heater. And so you have to, when it goes out, the thermocouple goes cold, so it closes. And you've got to press the button, and then you've got to light it, and you've got to hold that button down until it warms up. And then when it warms up, you release it and it stays lit. The problem is if your thermocouple goes out, then you press the button, you light it, it warms up, you take your finger off the button, and it goes out. And then you need to replace the thermocouple. And it's a safety feature so that you don't have gas being pumped in your house if your pilot light goes out. There you go. How to relight a water heater pilot light. It's a very important thing. Did I say electric stove? I meant gas stove. If you've got a gas stove,
but there are electric stoves.
Yeah, there are I've got electric stove. But yeah, gas stoves. You have to have some way to light the gas, and that is either because you have a thermocouple in your stove, or which means you've got a little open flame. Like you'll open up the lid, and then you'll see something lit in there. It's like, oh, that's how your gas gets lit when you turn on your gas stove. If you either that or you have the little electric
I remember that
electric spark that sparks the gas.
Oh, no, I don't have an electric stove, but the reason I've never had to relight a pilot heater is because I live in an apartment. So I imagine the water heater is managed by, Bill, the maintenance dude, for the whole building. So it's just not something.
If you're ever over at your parents' house, open up the little vent right next to where all the tubes go in at the bottom of your parents' water heater, unless they have an instant hot water heater, which is something totally different. But you can open it up and you can look in and you will see a little blue flame that's just about that big. It's just sitting there burning. That's how it lights the gas when you have a gas heater. And Andy Pandy says sometimes the starters don't have enough spark, which is annoying because they get sooty. Exactly, and then you have to change the element. They're not hard to do, very very easy to do, but it makes your life less nutso because actually things light up properly. So there you go. There's your
Your
moment.
lesson in home maintenance.
Your lesson in home maintenance from a professional landlord who has to quit her show. The show will be on later. Do we want to stream this on Twitch or on YouTube? Because it's a one or the other kind of thing.
Twitch.
Okay, we'll be over
Yeah.
on Twitch later on this evening. I can't say how long it's going to be because I have no idea what kind of bullshit I'm going to walk into. You never know what you're going to walk into.
Yeah, whenever you're done, just send me a text and I'll be able to hop
I
on.
will. So don't forget our Twitch stream is the GameHounds on Twitch. And I will probably put out an alert on Facebook to let you know that we're going live. But yeah, we'll be there and we'll be streaming and we'll stream Facebook and then we'll get into everything else. Nick, everyone, I'm sorry this had to be a short show, especially Andy Pandy, who is here for the first time. God dang it. That just breaks my heart. But, life is what life is. We'll be back. We're going to be dark next week because that day is New Year's Day.
Oh, yeah, it is.
A, I'm going to be out of town. B, I'm going to be drunk over. Oh, drunk over. That's the combination of drunk and hungover. I'm going to be totally drunk over. If you can, please make sure that you come back on let me look on the date. So yeah, a week from today. Oh no, a week from today is the 2nd, but I'm going to be out of town. So we will be back on January 9th. We're going to take next weekend off. I hope that you had a great Christmas. I hope that you have a really, really good New Year's. We will see you on January 9th. And Andy, I hope you come back. Thank you so much to AC Wraith for doing all the links. So let's close this out.
Yes. Bye.
You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 622. We recorded this show live on December 26, 2021. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail is our email. We record the show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. That is the audio show. If you're listening on the audio show, especially if you're listening live, feel free to join us on the video show like Andy did today for the first time. And you can see our shiny, happy faces. And you can see the games that we're talking about because we actually do previews of those games on there. It's awesome.
You can see me wave instead of saying hello or goodbye like I always do because I always forget.
We record it we do it live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. On Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we're on GameHounds Vids, as in videos, VIDS. Please join us there. You can also listen to us after the fact and watch us after the fact on all of those different platforms. And you can listen to us on Facebook, on Spreaker, on YouTube, iTunes, on Stitcher, any pretty much way that you listen to podcasts, there we are. If we're not there, please let us know at gamehounds@gmail.com and I will fix that shit right up so that you can get it. A big thank you to all of our patrons. The patrons make the video possible. Were it not for you, we would not be able to afford all of the stuff that's required to put this together as a video show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for doing that. Have a fantastic New Year's. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas. Please be safe out there. And if you are going to go out in public, wear a mask. It is real. It is happening. It is bad. And if you're vaccinated, great, go get boosted. If you're not vaccinated, go get vaccinated and boosted. Like Monday, go get it. We will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, I got to get off because I got another phone call. I will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Okay, later.